How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. Been a few days, transfer window over. I thought, let me just take a few days rest, considering I was doing back-to-back videos. Big up Josh in the chat, late, probably hanging with that useless Cecil. Big up everyone in the chat. I see there's nearly 200 people here already, so I'm sure a lot of you have already read through this Edu or watched through this Edu interview with Sky Sports. To be honest, I've done neither. I saw it pop up. I saw the headline and I saw one quote from it, and I thought, I think it's time to go live again before I do look into it. I've got it up here. I've got the Sky Sports page up here. I will be reading through it shortly. We'll do it together. We'll do that together and get opinions across question by question. And we'll see what he has to say for himself. But don't ruin it, people. At the end of the day, I haven't read through it yet, so don't ruin it. We're going to do it together. If you've read it, you've read it. Let's just go through it question by question. Let me see what the people are saying. Let me scroll up quickly. Catch the early ones. Fresh Prince says, nice thumbnail. Graphics are always on point on this channel. Big up hashtag creations for the graphics for the channel. He's helped me an awful lot this season and made sure everything's new and fresh. And that's the least I can do for the support I get from you guys. So love for that. I'm glad it's being noticed. Justin said he was chatting the same rubbish last year, saying if you don't think Willian is good, you don't know football. A year later, Willian rips up his contract so we can get rid. Like I said, I haven't read through it yet, so if there's anything like that in it, I'm sure I'm gonna see it at some point. It's obvious Arteta will never get sacked unless he has his full team and they are also playing bad. Arteta can argue he doesn't have Partey, White, or Gabriel. Hope you and the family are good, G. Love Taylor, man. Everything's blessed. Can't lie, this is going to make your head hot. Zero goals or ambition. This club lives in La La Land. People are ruining it already. But did I really think it was going to be a Disney type of interview where all is well and we listen and we are intrigued and we're excited? It was never going to be that. It was never going to be that. Big up Malachi, man, said the GOAT has returned. Love, man, love. Hit the like button, people, if you haven't already. As always, get the likes up as high as possible. Aiming for 1,000 before the video ends. The intro never fails. Come on, Joey, come on. Watch the interview, says AJ Gaming. It was just PR as usual. Connor, big up. Love for the love, G. Guna lad. Sophie, I hope you're well, Soph. I see your channel doing well. We have to do something together soon enough anyway. We will do something. Big up KG as well, my guy. Hope everything is well over your side. Footy chats in the building. Who's my hat plug? Listen, I've got various hat plugs, different brands everywhere. I need to start putting them in my bio, really. But I'll get all that done eventually. Let's see what Dylan's saying here with the super chat. Big up Turkish. Love from New York City. I'm a West Ham fan, but still love the channel and all the content, my guy. Hope the family is good and blessed. Love Dylan. First and foremost for the, super chat, the support. And secondly, for the support of the channel. Who knows? Maybe Big Six one day will have West Ham in it. And it won't be us being replaced first, by the way, Carl. Even though we are in the mud, at least we've got a trophy or two along the way. Through that mud. There's some teams out there that haven't in a few years. Big up Jamie. Turkish shout me out. Come on, Jamie. I see you, my bro. Michael, poor result against Norwich will prove it was a poor transfer window. I think all right, we're gonna get into it anyway. Like I said, when I bring up the script of the interview, we'll get into all of that. Yes, Ozzy, I see you, my guy. What about the rumors of Aurier? No, thank you. I know I used Aurier as somewhat of a measuring stick when I talked about Bellerin last summer and Tottenham trying to get Doherty and improve on that position. They didn't improve on that position. Doherty fell flat on his face too. But that doesn't mean that me saying, Aurier and Bellerin are comparable a year ago means I want Aurier at this club now. No, thank you. You see, ruining it. He said there are no targets this season. I can't believe he said it like that. But if he did say it like that, I'll give you my honest reaction, how I see it, how I hear it. Right, there's a lot of animosity. I see what you're saying, Cartel. Best in the world. Hope you're good, my guy. Finishing 9th. I'm telling you right now, 9th place is me being positive. Cartel said no offense. None taken, my guy. I'm not Edu, so... You're not, how can I take offense? Love hearing from this brother, says Sosa. Come on, G. Come on. 400 people here. Just came from the League on a stream. He's going off. I swear down, is Lee going off on one, yeah? Who's he going off at? Edu or the Twitter Muppets? Who is it? Because, you know, there's a lot of people in the firing line when it comes to Lee. Edu. Okay, I see. Sorry, I had to bring that up quickly. Let me see what's going on over there. But listen, I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of people talking about the Edu interview over the next 24 hours or so. To be honest, I'm hearing a lot of PR. And what do we really expect? Cyrus says, I beg you start reading it Turkish. It's madness. Trust me. And I'm a City fan saying this. Man said, when is Lee not going off? Very true. Very true. Big up from Melbourne. And I'm going to get into it. There's coming up to 500 people here. So we might as well do this. Let me see what this is saying. Like all professions, being a great footballer does not make one a great director of football. Then again, not at the top end of the table will not attract the best players wanting to join. Good afternoon, people. Good afternoon. Love for the love. Like I said, I'm going to go through the interview. Let me bring up the page now. I'm not even going to bring it up on the screen. It's not like I need to do it. You know, we need to do it together. I'll just have it here in front of me and I'll just read through it. You don't let me know your thoughts as we go in. I'll just keep on looking up and seeing the chat up here. Imagine. Yeah, I doubt that's going to happen, Matt. I doubt that's going to happen. Come on, Ginny. Big up, Ginny, man. And Eden, I see you. He's lost his head. Afternoon, Alan. Afternoon, Alan. Dead man walking. Oh, I think we all knew that. 3 games in, no points, no goals. Very little hope of the season remaining already. And that goes for top 4 as well as top 6. It's mad. I know it's only 3 games, but, you know, it is what it is. All right, let's get into it. Jeff Shreves conducted the interview. First question he asked was, what can you tell me about Arsenal's transfer window and the thinking behind it? The club has spent the most money of any Premier League club, but the Arsenal fans are underwhelmed. And that comes with a little graphic of the biggest spenders this summer. It says Arsenal 156.8 mil, United in second 133.7 mil, City in third 100 mil on the dot, Chelsea 97.5, Villa 93, and West Ham 63.3, with teams like Leicester, Liverpool, and Tottenham all below that. Edu replied saying, yes, I understand the reason because firstly, they have not seen the team playing together yet. So imagine the first sentence that come out of this guy's mouth is condescending, because that's what I take from that. I understand the reason because that's not firstly. It's not firstly we haven't seen the team playing together. It's firstly you've added a supporting cast without really adding the main ingredients. That's firstly, my guy. So explain that one. But listen, it's the first sentence. Let me not go off on one straight away because it seems like it's a long one. By the scroller, the scroller on the right-hand side of this page, it looks like it's a long interview. That's one of the reasons Edu says, but I think we have to see the wider context and just see the money around it. Let's hope you're going to explain this wider context. We signed 6 players who are under 23, which means a lot in terms of our planning. What does it mean? Normally, people like to see just one window. I'm not looking at one. What's this guy talking about? He's already going to make me go mad. One paragraph in. It's not just one window, Edu. You've actually been here since July 2019. That's summer window, July. Well, some of it at the very least. That's January window 2020. That's summer window 2020. That's January window 2021. That's summer window 2021. That's 5 windows, essentially. 4 full windows. And the window you came in at. So I don't know what he's talking about. People like to see one window. So I have to say it is the bigger picture because we started planning this squad a year ago in terms of consolidating the team and to try to get a better foundation. Listen, a better foundation is the only words there that I can agree with. We've needed a better foundation for a long time, but adding a foundation and not adding the necessary components around it to help that foundation means very little. If you remember, in that period, we renewed Saka and Martinelli a year ago with the intention to get that kind of base in the team. In a 1 year period, we signed 10 players, and 7 of the 10 are under 23. We renewed 7 players in this period as well, just in the first team. 5 of the 7 are under 23 as well. This guy's doing maths and all that. Just give me a break, mate. We know they're young. You don't need to start doing 7 of this and 8 of that and a quarter of this and a third of that is all young. Please, just, we know. We've seen what you're doing. Explain it. Explain it. Like, that's what I need to know. How are you telling us this again after telling us something else before? I see a lot of rat armies in the chat. That means Lee's stream must be finished and he sent a few people over here. But yeah, we move. I'm currently going through the interview, the Edu interview, which I'm sure you all know about. Make sure you guys hit the like button as you come in. Sosa says, I promise you, Turkish will not get through the whole of this interview. It's a slap in the face. Sosa, let's hope I can. What did he say? We have to balance the squad better. We have to recruit the players with the right characteristics and the right profile to make the squad better, more solid and much more consistent last season. Because last season we suffered with consistency. We suffered with a lot last season, mate. And consistency is one of them. But what about all the other problems we suffered with? Let me just stop for this super chat. Obviously, get your thoughts and questions in as I'm going through. We'll stop off and have mini pit stops. Let me have a little water as I read through this nonsense. Let's see what Scott is saying. Turkish, big up from all the way down under. Come on, my guy. Big up everyone there. You, family, hope all is well. Seemed like a CEO talking about financial profits rather than someone talking about a football club. Doesn't it always seem that way? Doesn't it always seem that way? When you have people, Kroenke and the way him and Josh and all them man talk, they talk the way they talk because they don't know football. Now, I'm not going to say Edu doesn't know football, but Edu doesn't know enough to be competent in the role he is in. He hasn't done enough to have his chest out about the role that he's in. Yes, he knows football because he's played football. He's been in a great side. He's been in and around great sides throughout his career. That's cool. But in this position, it's not a necessity to have played the game. You know, we've seen it with good technical directors around and in the past. You don't necessarily have had to have played the game to be a great one or a good one or know what you're doing. So, you know, at the end of the day, it just comes down to 1, not caring from the Kroenkes, and 2, no experience from Edu and Arteta. How can they explain the mess we're in when they're not experienced enough to know the mess we're in? I can't really listen to them about how we're going to get out of this mess when I know it's all, you know, it's all smoke and mirrors at the moment. It's just hoping for the best. It's hoping this new project clicks. It's hoping this new project goes bang, boom, Messi, all of that nonsense. Yeah, we've heard it before. Seemed like a CEO talking about financial profits rather than someone talking about a football club. Yeah, just making sure I got that last one back in. Turkish, would you take Gazidis back? No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't even know why that's a question, my guy. I don't even know why that's a question. For me, Gazidis is a big part of where we are now. I know he hasn't been around in a little while now, but he's a big part of why we are here. Like other people have played a big part as to why we are here. Loud. Why do I always see the chat when you do that goal thing? Please. Now I want to give Mikel Arteta and the board a much better squad, said Edu. You see that sentence there? Now I want to give Mikel Arteta and the board a much better squad. That sentence kind of takes ownership of this situation. Nah. I'm not sure. Listen, number one, this interview came out of nowhere in a sense. Don't get me wrong. When you lose 3 games at the start of the season after spending 150 mil, I think someone coming out to explain something makes sense. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Remind me where I'm at this point. Let me just get this. You do a video of League. I know. Yeah, we had a weekly show last year. I had a weekly show with a few people last year, but as the calendar got more hectic and whatnot, it just kind of petered out. But we will come back with something soon enough, even if it's not a weekly show. We'll just do some sort of a collab somewhere along the line, somewhere this season. You know, it's not like there's going to be a drought of headlines and nonsense to discuss, because we are still very much deep in it. Abu Bakar says, Turkish, you should get Julian on. you lot want me to rip him, innit? That's why you want me to get him on. By the way, FSG are worse. FSG are not worse, because FSG actually put Klopp in the position and put the right people around him. So if we're looking at things that they've done right in terms of the FSG owners and Kroenkes, it's FSG 1, Kroenkes 0, because the Kroenkes haven't done anything right. So that is the bare minimum between them that I'd say is the differential, because that decision from FSG reaped rewards. That decision brought success. None of Kroenke's decisions have brought success. Good try though. Good try though. I know a lot of Liverpool fans. I see a lot of Liverpool fans talking now, and it's like they're vexed. It's like, oh, what are we doing? And I'm just thinking to myself, right now, you know, there's not much to be vexed about. I know your owners are bad. But it's really hard to challenge your owners when you've just won a Premier League and Champions League. And when you're Arsenal Football Club in 20th position here, other fans that have just won the Premier League and Champions League moaning, you're just thinking, I wish I was in your shoes right now. But then again, Liverpool was in the shoes we are in currently, and they was probably looking at us through the Invincibles and whatnot, saying similar things, United team, Man City, and so on. So I guess swings and roundabouts, it's their turn. Rich says, greetings, bruv. How's your baby and family? All good. I just come back from a swimming lesson about an hour ago, hence why my eyes are looking a bit, I don't know. But yeah, swimming lesson for the little one. I say swimming lesson, I'm in there with him, more or less giving him the lesson, but they just put on some kids' music and little toys and that in the pool. It's good still. I enjoy. Now it's certain I will never ever spend a dime on this club until Kroenke, Vinay, Edu, and Arteta are gone. Which is going to be quite a while. Out of them 4 names, I think you see this sentence from Edu. Now I want to give Mikel Arteta and the board a much better squad. Like I said, he takes ownership here, and that ownership could lead to him being, because I just looked at them 4 names and I thought to myself, who is going to go first? And a lot of people might say Arteta, and I probably would have agreed before reading that sentence. But that sentence tells me that maybe Mikel Arteta is the one that will go first. Or maybe they go together, depending on how the season pans out and depending on how the relationship between them all pan out. There's 1,200 people here now. Make sure you guys hit the like button, get it up to 1,000 as always before the video ends. Subscribe if you haven't already, people. And, you know, keep up the love, because it's always there. Let me scroll up quickly before I get this super chat in. Just wait till the end of the conversation, then judge. What, as in the end of this transcript, or what conversation we're talking about? Because I have to give my thoughts as we go. Come on, I see Lee in the chat as well. My guy, I heard you was flipping out, so I might need to catch up with that video after this. Where are we? The Rat Army's in the building. Let me go back to the transcript, or whatever you call it. Jeff Shreves, it's clear there's a shift in Arsenal's policy in terms of buying young players that have value in the future. That is also a myth of a question. It is clear there's a shift in Arsenal's policy. Okay, that's cool. In terms of buying young players that have value in the future. You know, I don't think when we bought Granit Xhaka, we thought that player's not going to have value in the future. I don't think when we bought Kolasinac or signed him up on a free, we thought that player is going to have no value in the future. I don't think we thought, you know, whoever else over the last 5 years that has gone from the club for relatively cheap or on loan or end of contract, I don't think they was purchased with the knowledge that they won't have value come the back end of their contract. So I think yet again, that's nonsense, because I've heard many times around the club before that we buy players with sell on value. And I've heard that 3 years ago, I've heard that 5 years ago, 7 years ago. That's one of the things I've consistently heard saying we buy players with sell on value because that's the sort of club we are, self sustaining, all of that nonsense. So now all of a sudden we're being, you're asking the same sort of thing. It's not making sense. Young players that have value in the future, just because they're young doesn't mean they're going to have value. For example, Ben White's 50 million now. If Ben White doesn't kick on and Stones was 50 million for Man City. Stones was 50 million for Man City. He's won a league title, but I wouldn't say his time at Man City has raised his profile to the point where there's value there. And that's just an example. 50 mil is quite a big outlay. So I think 50 million on Ben White doesn't guarantee value in the future. Players like Lokonga, Tavares, Tomiyasu, they're not 30 players in terms of they're not mustard already. And they're not going to come in and do their thing from the get-go because they are young. That's no criticism of them. It's because they are young. But we can't also expect that value come the back end because most transfers are risks, especially when you're Arsenal Football Club trying to catch up. RM, the 50 million has been repaid. 100% the 50 million has been repaid. But what I'm talking about is the question saying that have value in the future. I'm sure many of our signings that have left over the last 5 years were bought initially thinking there's going to be value on the back end, but there wasn't. Is that because the previous transfer dealings have been poor, R. Shreves? You have been left with players on high wages with no sell-on value. And like in the case with Willian, his contract was terminated. Has that been a factor in your thinking with this new policy? Edu says yes. If you see, we had 21 players exit over the year. 21 players doesn't really sound right to me, but maybe he's including the Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Kolasinac loans in January when I wouldn't include them because they're not exits. All of those were terminated. We tried to sell. We tried to loan with an obligation to buy as well. We tried to clear a bit of the squad and bring in some new faces. We had 21 outgoings and signed 10 players in 1 year. 21 changes, it is a lot. It's more than a squad in 1 year. But this was the intention again when we are talking about the base and the foundation. We have to create it again to one day just go and sign 1 or 2 players. I get that. What he's trying to insinuate here, is, and this ain't me comparing, but basically, you see how Liverpool went out and bought a lot of players for what deems good prices in hindsight when you see what they achieved in the end. They bought a lot of good players, and then they added the finishing touches with Alisson and Van Dijk and the big outlay and the big names. I feel like that's what Edu's saying here. Like, we're buying all of what we need to buy to create the best foundation. And then that last sentence, we have to create it again to one day just go and sign 1 or 2 players. I think he means that sort of a thing. He's getting it all prepared for 1 or 2 signings to go bang. And I'm sorry I keep on saying bang and boom and all this, but these are the words that they, essentially mocked us with in some of their interviews and nonsense in the past year. Boom, Messi. And no one said we want Messi, my bro. Jeff, players only increase in value with success. These players are not being set up for success. Very true, Jeff. Very true. And that is the bottom line of it, really. Yes, you might get some value increase in some players, especially when it looks like a Saka or Emile Smith-Rowe who come through the academy, and you can't really put any of that blame or poor form down to them. They will have value. But the players you bring in to change what is poor form, to change what is a bad culture and atmosphere in the dressing room, and try change but fail, that doesn't bode well for sell-on value, regardless of quality. For example, Luiz can't find a club, I believe. Mustafi can't find a club, I believe. Willian, we had to terminate his contract. Bellerin, loan, no option, no obligation. Not even Real Betis want to commit. Xhaka, only Roma wanted him for 12 mil, rising to 15 mil. Eddie and Nketiah, cool. Brighton and Palace wanted it. That's not even bad. Brighton and Palace, I respect that. Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Did anyone really want him this summer? I don't know. Mesut Ozil. No one wanted him. Fenerbahce wanted him homecoming or, one of them kind of things. We've had so many players that no one else wants. And not only no one else wants, there's a couple of examples there, Mustafi and Luiz, that no one else will take even for a free. That no wonder what's happened to our club has happened. But someone needs to take ownership. Like Edu tried to say, this ain't one window. This ain't one window I'm looking at. I'm not vexed off of one window. It's Mustafi at Levante now. Like, yeah, imagine that. Whether he's there or not, I don't know when that happened, but it must have been recent. Daniel said, yeah, the script. He's right. Let's see the full team together and new players together first. Then if it goes wrong, we crucify them. Hashtag come on you Gunners for life. Love, bro. Love, Daniel. The thing is, they've not left us in a position. Well, they have. They've left us in a position where what you say, Daniel, is all we can do. All we can do is wait and see. Because they got through November and December last year and nothing happened. They got through the Europa League semi-final nonsense and nothing happened. They've got through a summer transfer window where 150 mil has been spent. And a lot of people questioned the first 11 improvements and got away with it. They've started the season 3 games, 3 losses, no goals, last in the league, and they've got away with it. So in all honesty, that's all we can do is wait till the players play and then say, well, here you go, mate. What leg have you got to stand on now? Abu Bakar says, to be fair, Klopp was picking up results along the way. He was. And that is a difference as well. It's just that I'm trying to make sense of what Edu's saying here and how he's potentially looking at it. And that's what I see. Where are we? There we are. There's another question coming in. Well, have I got any more? No, that's cool. The problem with that, this is Jeff Shreves. The problem with that for many Arsenal, and I actually like this question. Well done. The problem for many Arsenal fans is, let's say from the 6 new signings you've made, probably only 2 of them would go straight into the first team. Only 2. So I guess he's talking about Ben White and Odegaard or Tomiyasu. Well, I'd say 3, I guess. I'd say 3. So how much has this window improved Arsenal's first team right now? Edu said, you see the strategy for every single name. I can explain to you the reasons. Aaron Ramsdale, for example, he is a very good football player and has the potential to be a big part of the team in the future. Shreves intercepts for the future. Big up Precise. I see you sent a super chat there. But you didn't attach a comment to it, so I can't really... If you just want to put your comment in, I'll look out for it. But love for the love, man. Love for the love. What's going on here? Just scroll up quickly. There we are. Precise says, Turkish, Arsenal is done. I'm numb where Arsenal is concerned. Where do you see us finishing this season? Seventh to 12th. I can't pin down an exact position. I'll be honest. Like last season, I said anywhere from 6th to 10th. That was the reality. But this season is anywhere from 7th to 12th, I'd say. I think that's fair. But big up for that super chat, Precise, and big up everyone in the comments. Let me go back to see what the rest of this is saying for the future interception. And I like that because you have to intercept, because you originally asked the question saying, probably only 2 of them go straight into the first team. And then Edu goes into for the future. And this for the future stuff is PR, It's essentially trying to take the attention away. Now, Shreves intercepts with for the future. Cool, because you've got to put it on them. You can't be letting them, get away with it. Edu says for the future of the team, what he wants to do is balance that position. And why do you bring him in? We already have one player there to play games with Bernd Leno, but we have to bring in someone to help the future. Then at right back, we just signed Tomiyasu. He is someone who comes here and plays straight away because we loaned Bellerin. Well, that loaning Bellerin is not exactly great piece of business. So I wouldn't even mention that if I was you. That's the plan. But of course, it's up to Mikel whether he plays or not. So as much as taking ownership before about, the signings and giving Arteta and the board, a solid team, he's here saying that's the plan, but it's up to Mikel if he plays or not. So the signings are very much on Edu, is what I'm getting here. All of the signings are on Edu. Maybe one or two picked from Mikel. And Mikel Arteta decides what to do with those signings. Surely that's what I'm taking from here. Bashir, love for that. But yeah, you haven't got a comment attached. So that's what I'm taking from this. And then he continues, if you go to Nuno Tavares, he has the same characteristics because we have Kieran Tierney there to play. But we needed someone to cover him. This guy's explaining he might as well explain that, well, there's nothing more to explain on Tavares. We know he came in as a backup to Kieran Tierney. Stop making out to be he has the characteristics of this and this, that, please. Jeff Shreves then goes, so they are, if you like, at the moment reserved. So he's doubling down on his question. And again, you have to do that. And I like that. That's good interviewing, in my honest opinion. You can only really say Martin Odegaard and Ben White would be expected to be first team starters. I'd argue Tomiyasu as well. So again, I'd say three. I'd say three go into the first team. You can't say three improve the first team, but you say three go into it. I think Odegaard is quality. Ben White, is he an improvement yet? We'll find out. And Tomiyasu, I really hope he is an improvement because there wasn't much to improve on that right-hand side. Let's be honest here. And Lord Gunnar says, according to the Athletic, Arteta's the one to push for players like Ramsdale, Odegaard and Xhaka extensions. Well, we've got Edu here saying, I'm trying to give the manager and board a strong squad. So that to me seems like, he's the one making these decisions. Before I continue, Pisco says he blew the 150 million on bench players when the starters aren't good enough. Get rid of these clowns. Oh, yeah. That's the problem. I say supporting cast. Yeah, bench players is kind of the same word for that. I think this transfer window was probably one big signing away from looking a lot better than it was. Edu didn't even say what the target is this season. Love always free the wave. You already know, my guy. Ceres says, buy pirated, stream pirated, boycott matches before anything changed the ownership and the top. David Dean knew what it's about. We'll be Newcastle. There's a lot of Newcastle talk recently. Over Marzin says, Josh, I would take that in a heartbeat. Love for the love people. 1,700 people here. Let me see how many likes we're on because it needs to get to 1,000. We're only on 500 likes. Come on, just quickly hit the like button. And Jeff Shreves, like I said, double down. At the moment, reserves. You can only really say Odegaard and Ben White would be expected to be first team. So of the 6, only 2 will improve the team. Edu said we suffered last year because we lost a lot of players and we didn't really have good backups to play games. Well, who does that fall on? It's all good and well telling us what happened when we know what happened. We can see what happened. We was there. We was watching. We know. Yeah, if you're telling us there's no backups, we saw there's no backups. Yeah, we saw us starting Xhaka at left back in probably the most important games coming up to the most important game of our season. We saw the needs of that. Are you going to say it's your fault? Are you going to take ownership? Is anyone going to take ownership? Because it happened under you. That's one thing that we can say happened under you. I believe we need a squad to win games. We need a squad. Listen, no, you need a good first 11 to win games. That's first and foremost. You need a squad to win titles. This guy don't know what he's talking about. I'm going to be honest here. We need a squad to be in a good position at the end of the season. Yes, well done. Because it is not only about the first 11. A lot of the time it is, mate. A lot of the time it is. It is about the first 11. Again, we need a foundation. We need players to play, and then we need players to cover the first 11. he's making a lot of reasons up for the supporting cast signings. And like I said, there's no problem with signing supporting cast. It's that marquee player that was missing from the summer transfer window, that instead of the supporting cast being in the marquee signing shadow, the supporting cast are the limelight. They are in front, stage, center. They're there for us. And that shouldn't be the case. The supporting cast should be there, the marquee should be there, and they should be coming in under the radar. Instead, without a marquee, they are there. And that's the problem. They shouldn't be there. Nicky says, no more excuses. We were always too young in the past and refused to buy marquee players. And we're going into it again. You know. Martin says, take it from me, a Norwegian Odegaard is not going to do anything special at Arsenal. He has been shocking for Norway, one of the worst players at hiding. Fair enough, Martin. I didn't watch the Norway game the other day. Obviously, Norway are in Turkey's group, and if I even get into this stuff, now you reminded me, Martin. Why did you mention Norway and international football? Football 2021, if I could just throw it in the bin, I'd throw it in the bin in football terms. Obviously, I had my son in 2021, so it's in life terms, one of the best years of my life. But in footballing terms, it probably is the worst year of my life. Arsenal finished 8th. Turkey finished last in the Euros, and I mean last. Arsenal start the season three games, 3 L's, and then the first international break, Turkey are winning, and we concede in the 97th minute, 2-2. Republic of Ireland are winning, and we concede one in the 89th and one in the 97th minute. How can both my countries concede in the 97th minute of a game to drop points? How? I don't know. I'm starting to think, is it me? It's crazy. It's crazy. But let's get back into this interview. And Tottenham are top. How could I forget? Sosa said, I watched Odegaard against the Netherlands. He's played calm and worked hard, nearly got an assist for Haaland, but he hit the post. Even LVG said at the end of the game, he's a very good player. Fair enough. Someone else said he got a 4 out of 10 against Holland. Yeah, I feel you. I support Ireland because I'm Irish. I'm quarter Irish. What a year. What a year. How can both teams concede in the 97th minute? What are they both doing playing in the 97th minute? What happened in those games that there's a chance for both teams that were playing to score in the 97th minute? Anyway, back to Ed doing the nonsense over here. From the nonsense over there to the nonsense over here, because that's all football has been this season for me. Where are we? Now let's put it into context. Edu says, for example, in midfield, you have Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey. So for me and for Mikel, it doesn't make sense to sign another player to be on top of them if they are the ones that are going to be playing. Nah, this is where I'm not happy, because I'm scrolling quickly and I haven't seen Jeff Shreve. This is where he needed to intercept and say, well, Granit Xhaka was close to an exit. Is Edu actually telling me that that's the reason we didn't buy a midfielder, when we saw that he was close to an exit? I should have done this video at 10 p.m. this evening, because this interview is really annoying me, because it's doubling down on nonsense. It's condescending. It does think of that, that chat earlier on that said Willian. It reminds you of the Willian be patient bollocks in November. It actually does. It's very much arrogance, condescending, chest out. I'm happy with my decisions. You will see that they are right. It's mad. Man said Granit, I need Shreves here to intercept and be like, Granit Xhaka, you tried to sell him. No one wanted him for more than 12 mil. How can you say he's starting at Arsenal Football Club? That's why we chose Albert, Sambi, Lokonga to help them. If you go up front, we have Lacazette, Oba, Saka, Pepe, Martinelli. I want to see them playing together. Well, you didn't add that Lacazette's got 10 months left of his contract and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is in the worst form of his life with less than 2 years remaining. In the number 10 position, we saw a gap there because we just have Emile Smith-Rowe. We needed a number 10 with the same quality to be there, help and play. Where we needed to spend big money for me and for Mikel, that was in the centre-back position because we needed someone to fill that position. Well, what happened to William Saliba? If you're going to do interviews like this, then tackle the real questions that we have. Be honest about the real questions that we're asking. David Luiz was leaving, and this was the one where we needed someone to come here and straight away have an impact on the team with the right profile of what we believe for the short, medium, and long term. So Saliba didn't fit anything. No, you'd rather loan Saliba than and play Holding, Chambers, and Kolasinac. Come on, man. What's this super chat saying? Buy pirated, stream pirated, and boycott games. Turkish, you and AFTV call Vinay. Nai? I think that says Nai. Means dog in Tamil. They're taking the literal piss. A lot of them. They've been taking the piss for a long ass time. Yeah, I like some autobiographies, man. Come on, my guy. I see Will Ricketts in the chat. Come on, G. Agree 100%. This shit is madness. Wish one of us could ask him questions. None of them want to hear questions from us. Where are we? I can't believe this guy's not even mentioned Saliba once. Not even mentioned. Not even mentioned. That was Ben White. That is why we went there and signed Ben White to give the squad what the squad needed. Jess Shreves, do you understand though why Arsenal fans would prefer, say, if you spend 150 million to buy 3 oven-ready players who could go, good question, who could go straight into the first team with maybe Premier League experience or certainly first team experience elsewhere? That will improve the team now. As you know, right now the team has not scored a goal, has not registered a single point, and sits rock bottom of the Premier League. Edu answers, I really understand that, but I'd also like them to understand the reason and the direction we are going as a club. I really understand that, but I'd like them to understand. That's all I'm hearing. That's all I'm hearing. Let me scroll up quickly. Didn't he say something like that at the beginning? He said, yeah, I understand. Yeah, the first thing he says, yes, I understand. This guy, understand what? Of course, it has hurt us to be in that situation. We are hurt. I am hurt. I don't want to see the club there, but I want to see the team playing together. To be fair, we have had 3 games and I haven't seen the team playing together yet. So I want to see the signings and I want to see the squad prepare. All 3 games we have played against Brentford, Chelsea, and City. Unfortunately, we have had some difficult moments in terms of COVID and injuries. And with COVID, why are we the ones that have been struck down by COVID like this? How come just us that's really, taking it on the chin? I haven't seen many other clubs deal with the amount of cases we've had in the first few weeks of the season. Like, why can't we even do that one right? I want to see the team play together and then let's judge the team when they play together. Then after that, no problem. Judge us then. So what about the last 18 months, my guy? Now you want to see the players you've just signed. What about the Willians that have come in and you told us be patient and then he's left? He's left by tearing up his contract because no one wants to buy him. And we have overpaid him. Like what? I can't believe these men are just erasing yet another few seasons and saying, let's wait and see. That's essentially what this is. Another wait and see. Josh can't come out with it now, can he? Because he probably would have been the one to come out with it. Arteta's under a lot of pressure. Oh, yeah, Edu put him in that position. How much is Mikel Arteta on board with the direction the club is going? Because any manager is judged on results. If I'm Arteta, I understand you are planning for the future, but if results don't improve, I could be down the road here. For example, go and get me Romelu Lukaku, somebody like that. How much does he understand? As you said, the case here is we really believe in the players we have in the squad. Maybe other people don't, but we do. So you see what you mean? Maybe other people don't. do you mean maybe other people don't? Like, again, it just feels like a chip on the shoulder type of comment, you know. Other people don't. Yeah, well, there's a reason many other people don't. If we start to see the squad together, we believe in the squad. I sit with Mikel and we see the squad. We have a striker there who delivers to us 25 goals every season. We have another one who delivers 15, 20 goals every season. Who are you kidding? Who is this guy kidding? He's picking out Oba's best season and Lacazette's best season and saying this is what they give us. They haven't given that us consistently, have they? Yes, Oba was consistent prior to the season we just had, but Lacazette's never been consistent 15 to 20 goals. This guy's does this interview get worse than this? Bruv, is this guy in what world is he living in? We have two very powerful young players from the academy in Saka and Smith Rowe. We believe in them and our squad. My guy just talked about two strikers that can do this and do that, and then he talked about two youngsters, and we believe in them. Jeff Shreves again. How far in are we? Because this is jarring me now. As you know, Arteta is under immense pressure right now. Also, your own job has come under criticism. The criticism of you is you haven't done this job in Europe before and you don't know the European market. What do you say to that criticism? And also, what and when will it be where you can be judged for what you've done? Your policy at the club. Edu said, I respect all the pressure. I came in from Corinthians and then the Brazilian national team where there is unbelievable pressure just as here. No, there isn't. I understand the fans, I understand the reasons, and I accept that. Understand. You don't understand. Jamal, let me see what you're saying. Love you, Turkish. Gonna join as a member now, G. Love that, Jamal. Come on, my guy. Come on. Big up all the members in here. Big up all the super chats. Big up everyone just getting their thoughts and questions across. And big up everyone that's hit the like button. Love for the love, people. There we have it. New member. I see you, my guy. I see you. Where are we? I understand the fans, I understand the reasons, and I accept that. But we will need a bit of time to do what we plan to do. Well, Edu, you're 2 years into this time, and you're saying you need time. Like, it's mad. That's why when I say to you, we have to create a good foundation, and to create a good foundation, you need time. But you don't get time in football, said Shreves. Edu says, I know, but that's why you make the decisions. We believe in our squad now, but we believe in this squad can be even stronger in the future. My job is to think about the short term, but also the long term as well. How we are going to plan that kind of journey, because if we now sign 1 or 2 players, and we have 3, 4, or 5 gaps to fill, people are then going to look to us and say to us, guys, what are you doing? You've spent a lot of money on certain positions, but what about here, here, and here? This guy's talking in riddles, man. The balance is not easy to get, but again, we believe in what we are doing. Talking about my role, I understand the pressure. I understand the pressure on me, Mikel, the board, and the club, because the situation we are in now is unacceptable. It's not now. The situation we have been for 10 years has been unacceptable. 5 years has been beyond unacceptable. And the last 2 years I don't even know if there's a word for it. Unacceptable is not the word for the last 2 years. I'm going to be honest with you. I am responsible for what we are doing. Definitive quote there from Edu, and probably the one he will fall on eventually. I feel like this is very much his last hurrah in terms of an interview. The more I'm reading it, the more I feel like he's been put there to conduct this interview because no one else at the club can right now. Josh, never. Stan, where is he? Arteta won't do it. Vinay, please. So Edu's here talking the talk, putting it all on him. So when it does eventually crumble, it looks like Edu will be the one to fall first. Raul says, if you can't convince them, confuse them. That's a good tactic. Good tactic. Where are we? Do you feel as accountable for the results as the playing and management staff right now? We have a different responsibility, of course. We are never going to be there and tell Mikel to play this guy and this guy. Of course not, because that is his responsibility to choose the team, to choose the system, and to help me to make the best decisions in terms of recruitment. It's not me, it's not him. To be fair, it is. What the fuck is this guy saying? What's going on? Where? It's not me, it's not him. Let me get to this super chat before I lose my head. Suresh again, buy pirated, stream pirated, and boycott games. Proper win. A proper transfer window is Martinez back, Aouar, Sterling, Trippier, even Aguero, but never happens with these owners. To be honest, Suresh, a proper window would have started with Antonio Conte getting the job, but it didn't. And from there, what we saw is what we all should have expected. Shress in the building. My guy Shress, you made it to my channel, yeah? I always see you on AFTV, my guy. Big up you, man. Big up you. Hope everything is good. Excuses. Arsenal didn't perform last season. Fans wanted Willian out. Edu was water jetting when we should have signed and sold players. Where is Josh? Josh hasn't got a leg to stand on. When you come out and tell someone to be excited, and then the next 2 years is the worst 2 years in not only the club's reign under your family's name, but pretty much Premier League, you can't come out and speak. Your word is in the mud. Your reputation is in the mud. And this is what these men don't understand. You can't come back for some of these things. You can't come back from telling us be excited and then we've had our worst 2 seasons. It just doesn't happen. It can't happen. Jamal said, would love to meet you in person. Big Six live show and the rest of the boys in London. I had been suffering personally. Your streams and videos have been a massive help, bro. Appreciate it. The worst is behind me. Jamal, I'm sorry to hear that you've been suffering, my guy. I'm very happy to hear the worst is behind you. Listen, the Big Six, we are going to be doing live shows coming up. I'm just tying up, loose ends. Once a month on Robbie's channel, the Big Six will be live, us 6 all together in person, taking comments, taking chats. And we're also going to do like, not a tour, but like a mini kind of, we'll hit up a bar or a venue near the Emirates. We'll hit up a bar or a venue near Anfield, near Old Trafford, near Etihad, near White Hart Lane, near Stamford Bridge, and invite people and make sure that, the people that support it get a chance to, come and engage and hang out with us and whatnot. Because all we are just regular fans like every single one of you guys here. But love to hear that somehow my streams have helped you through, Jamal. I love to hear that. I don't know how, but people do call this therapy more often than not when it comes to Arsenal Football Club. Obviously, Curtis has got his own therapy show, so you know what it is at the moment. Big up Jamal, man. Keep your head up, my guy. And if you ever need to talk, just hit up the comment section. And I check most comments for most videos, especially on my channel, so don't hesitate. Joe says, you expect anyone to fix a 10-year mess in 1 year? No, but I expect them to be able to do it 3 years after Arsene Wenger's been sacked. It's not 1 year, Joe. You're seemingly pissed by anything he says, regardless. If you're mention Willian, mention Partey. What about Partey? Partey had a 45 million release clause. We could have brought him in at the beginning of the transfer window and he could have had the whole pre-season with us ready to go. Instead, we brought him in on the last day, having given up on Aouar, who, by the way, is a completely different type of central midfielder. So what are you talking about? I like Thomas Partey. I want Thomas Partey. But the way we did it was, again, reminiscent of a club that doesn't really have no desire to change their ways off the pitch. And no, it's not just 1 year, Joe. They sacked Wenger in 2018. They've had 3 years since that big decision to at least bring some stability back to the club. We are less stable than we've ever been under Arsene Wenger. But yet, as fans, there's more excuses, including, like you said there, it's only 1 year. Come on, my guy. Like, we need to open our eyes. It's not him. It's the man moving like a breakup. Let me just see if I missed anything. I missed this one. Silent Stan, and Jester Josh. Nothing but excuses, says Theodore. 3-year plan is now a long-term plan. I'm over it. It's so frustrating. Hope all is good, Turkish. It's been a while. It has been a while, my guy. Hope all is good over your side too. Yeah, can't complain over here. Still going strong. Trying to, bring some more regular content back to the channel. And to be honest, I have done over the last few weeks. Let me just make sure it stays consistent. Dennis said, see how Turkish got angry again. Man, just angry. Because I'm angry because of the club. When we talk about the club, of course I'm going to be angry. When we just mentioned Jamal's comment there and, him having gone through suffering to come out the back end, did I not say I'm glad to hear that? Am I not happy that, man can help? Am I not open to communicate and, be there? But then if you ask me about Arsenal, of course it's going to be anger and frustration and despair because that's what it is right now. What do you think I'm going to ride a rainbow to a pot of gold at Arsenal Football Club right now? It's not happening, is it? So please, open your eyes. Big up the new member, Red United. Become a new member. Come on, this is what the Big Six does. It brings other fans to the channel and we move. Love for the love, though, and love for the support always. I started following the club due to the passion of the fans. I'm a newbie. Team worse each year. I started following. Club has no logic. Frustrated. Why am I here? You'd have to ask yourself that, You'd have to ask yourself that. Obviously, people have very different reasons in why they support a football club and why they end up affiliated and stuff like that. Some people it comes through family. Some people it comes through environment growing up, location growing up. Some people it comes through demographic. It is various different things. All I know is it's very difficult being an Arsenal fan these days, especially a young one growing up, because if the connection is not based through family ties and if it's not based through local club, then it's very hard to find reasons to support the club right now. It's not like we conduct ourselves classy anymore to say we're still classy. It's not like we stand up for human rights and stick up for our players when they mention things, as we saw. It doesn't happen. It's not like we buy the players that, bring in new fans and bring in a wave and sense of excitement. So it is very difficult. I understand that. All I know is that all of this pain and all these years of frustration, anger, despair will hopefully one day be worth it. And when that day comes, if it comes, let's hope we're all, still here and can all enjoy it together. And yeah, and remember that we can't take it for granted. Like I used to take all the titles growing up for granted and all the great players growing up for granted. It can't be done. Fu says Arteta picks the team. No Ozil, Torreira, Project Youth equals ship out Guendouzi, Mavropanos, Joe Willock, then brought in Cedric, Mari, Willian. Also reduced the value of the entire squad. What if these guys have no sell-on value? That's my worry. And you're right, there's a lot of contradictory things, to say the least, with what Edu's saying now, Mikel Arteta's done, Edu's done, and quotes that there's a lot of misdirection again. It's like, I asked it the other day, Arteta said last year at some point, the project will go bang one day. Now, is he talking about the same project now when he comes out recently and says this is the young team, we need time? Does that sound like the same project where he talked about it going bang? That project where he said it's just going to go bang sounded like he thought is very much near the end of, not near the end of the project, but near the end of the preparation for the project, where it will come about this summer and bang, you'll see how we move on. It now coming into the season saying, we need time, it's young, sounds like the project plan has changed at some point. Now, who's going to tell us why it changed? Nobody. Why? Because they don't care. Joe says, talking about the 1 year, I'm referring to Edu Arteta. They didn't inherit any progress. They actually inherited regress. Come on, bud. Edu's been in Edu's been at this club since July 2019, my guy. July 2019. That's 2 years, bro. That's not 1 year. That's 2 years. And there's various signings in between there. Like what we just mentioned with Cedric. We brought Cedric in because we needed a right back. And all of a sudden, he starts the season as second, third, sometimes fourth choice right back. Mari was brought in and then Holding and Chambers play ahead of him. Like, if these men are coming in and they're Edu signings, but Arteta's not playing them, then there's something wrong. Your manager and director of football need to be on some sort of a similar page. Now, when it comes to Arteta, Arteta's also not a year. Okay, Arteta's had 2 full transfer windows now, albeit impacted by COVID. I can be fair in that sense. But he's had a few, well, I say a few, he's had a few bad transfers and a few good ones. But in all honesty, look at the Willian one. Kia says Arteta was very much a key piece behind the Willian move. Edu's telling us now that Edu makes the transfers and he gives them to Arteta to play. At the moment, the club is passing around the blame an awful lot. The Kroenkes come out when they want to come out, when they think things are going well, and they say what they need to say. They hide again. Edu comes out here, says something that contradicts something that Arteta said a few months ago, and it kind of shows you that the club's in a mess. So it's not come on, bud. It's like you should come on and realize that we have been more than fair on the owners, and giving Arteta and Edu more time and patience falls into the owners' standards of what they've created. A club that doesn't challenge. Shress again says KSC treat Arsenal as business. Fear when we get relegated, KSC will be the first one to sell. Nobody would want to buy Arsenal as we would have lost fans, sponsors, sales, social media would add fuel to the fire. Poof. Shress, that's one thing I have to disagree with you on there. We agree on an awful lot, but that last bit, Arsenal, in terms of a club and sell-on value as well, we, even in relegation, we will be able to find an owner. It's just that if that scenario was ever to happen, it would be a long way back. And it would be constant up and downs, not just a new owner and up. At the moment, if we got a new owner in and around now, it'd still be some bumps and bruises along the way. But, you know, it is what it is. Look at this El Maestro guy, man. He's in his feelings in the chat. Oh. You still crying about Arsene Wenger? You still crying about Arsene Wenger, are you? Oh, get a tissue, mate. Get a fucking tissue. Salam alaikum. Turkish love from Australia. Come on, my guy. Come on. I see Mustafa there as well. Big up, Mus, man. Allow me today, Mus. I know you're a United fan, man. You've got to allow me. Avoiding what? Let's bring up El Maestro's chat. Let's go up to the original when he was crying. Keep acting in denial, Turkish. We all know who's to blame for our downfall. Falsehood must perish, and surely truth is showing now. Matter of time before the tide rises. You all owe an apology. So what? Now your comments up. Can I tell you to go get a tissue and dry your eyes? Is that better for you? Can I tell you that now? Yeah, because that's exactly what you need to do. Go get a tissue, cry into it for a bit, come back, and be a man about it, and leave all of that fucking nonsense behind you, mate. Now sometimes you have to call a man out, man, and this guy's talking in capital letters and all of that, and if he continues, mods know what to do anyway. But for now, let him go dry his eyes, let him come back. He might see sense then, he's obviously got a few tears streaming down now. It's all right. Every once in a while, people remember Wenger, they wake up and think, shit, Arsene Wenger, what we might have been if we had kept him. We didn't exactly drop out the top 4 with him, Let's get back to Edu and the interview, guys. Let's get back to Edu and the interview. Because am I near the end of this? I don't even remember where I was. Do you feel accountable? Oh yeah, the accountable part of it. Man said the Wenger sexual. It's revisionism. It certainly is. It certainly is. People that act like Wenger wasn't a big part of this problem, you are actually a big part of the problem yourself, which is so mad. Tomiyasu looks good, to be fair to him. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Turkey did bottle it against Montenegro. Thank you for that reminder. Surge Designs, SC Designs. Let me write that down, my guy. SCDSGNS. No worries, I'll get that done after. Big up Turkish Kupris, the brother from Australia. Come on, my guy. Come on. All right, where are we? If all the players are fit, says Shrees, what do you think this squad should be capable of this season? Is it top 4? Is it top 6? What's realistic? Oof. He's trying to pin him down on something here. Let me take a sip of water before I see what Edu has to say here. I don't want to go for top 4 or top 6 or top 8 or top 10. I'm just really looking forward to seeing this squad play together. No wonder Lee was flipping, man. And to be honest with you, I ain't got the energy to flip. My man said, I don't want to go for top 4, top 6, top 8, or top 10. I'm just really looking forward to seeing this squad play together. So this project hasn't got any targets, people, but we need to believe in it. I repeat, this project hasn't got any targets, people. We just need to believe in it. Why do we need to believe in it? Because our director of football is looking forward to seeing the squad play together. And let's not deny him that. Let's not deny all of ourselves that. No targets, just vibes. Let's just see the vibes. I don't want to go for top 4 or top 6 or top 8 or top 10. He knows to go that far down as well, because that's how far down we have been. Let me take these super chats before I get into this back again. I've never felt so disconnected from the club, says Has. From the top down, it's rotten. We've had false promises every season. Bruv, this guy is actually moving mad. And I can see a couple of people are shocked, saying, wow, and wait, what? So I'm assuming that not everyone has heard or seen this interview. So I guess you are just hearing the first of it now. Flipping no. I'm going to repeat that line, that's for sure. Stress says, ideas. 1, issue fan notice to KSC telling them how we feel. I agree with that. 2, fly a plane like the Wenger days. 3, make fan contingent and reach out to billionaire AFC fans. I think you're on the right path. You're on the right path, my guy. I pretty much agree with all of those points. Vibes and merch, says Steve. Exactly, vibes and merch. Apparently, there's some new merch that came out today, culture range or something like that. Imagine that culture range. This team lacks so much culture on the pitch that, I'm surprised they're bringing out something called a culture range. Look at what you're doing to yourself now, man. Look at what you're doing to yourself now. You're getting yourself blocked. I replied to one of your comments. You should have been happy with that. You're crying because of Wenger, and now you're getting yourself blocked. Take it easy over there. Take it easy. It's Saturday. It's afternoon if you're in the UK. It's evening or morning wherever you are. Take it fucking easy. A dude's already stressing me out already, and you're there doing caps lock, writing this and writing that. Come on. Go into the kitchen in the garden or something for a little bit and come back. I told you already. The wave. Come on. That's what I'm calling you. The wave, man. I ain't calling you the natural. I'm calling you the wave. Told you, Turkish, this guy has no targets. Free the wave. Love as always. Keep up the good content. Oh, bro. Free the wave indeed. And I'm just laughing because I see people laughing at my reaction to the guy. But you just some people would say like you avoid negative comments. Sometimes I go and read a negative comment or two because I don't want to avoid it. I like that interaction. Sometimes you got to shut a man up. You go read a negative comment and he rides off on his own wave. Back to Edu and this nonsense about no top 4, no top 6, no top 10. I want to see our squad because I don't see it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it because I believe And Mikel believes that this team can have a good season. So this guy's saying he's not setting a target because he wants to see the squad because he hasn't seen it yet. Bro, so basically, you're signing players, you're waiting for vibes, you're keeping your fingers crossed, and at the back end of it, you're gonna start saying, "Yeah, you see what I've done if we do well, or we didn't have targets if we do bad." No ownership. This is how this team and club get away with no ownership all the time. This is how they get away with it. No targets. We've actually got our director of football coming out to tell us there's no targets. And we wonder how we've fallen off so far. We wonder. Just because he's telling us there's no targets doesn't mean this is the first time there's no targets at Arsenal Football Club. We've seen our club drop from invincible to top 4 merchants to top 6 and now essentially out of everything. Along the line, there's been seasons where there's been no targets. Best believe that, especially when you keep hold of a manager for as long as we've done with Wenger, and especially when you keep hold of a manager that had the November, December that he had last year and has had the first 3 games of the season that he's had this year. None. Suresh says, buy pirated, stream pirated, and boycott games. I like the start of that. I like the start of your super chat still. Makes sense. Drill it down. Guys, we're mid-table now. Shout out to David Dean. Need you back. He left, we fell, and back to Highbury. Well, you know, when I see David Dean, he still goes to games here and there. He's still in and around the club. He still cares, you know. But I just feel like it's, you know, his time is gone now. I honestly feel like he's, you know, he probably won't be interested in it now. His links from back then are probably not the same anymore. Baran said, Turkish, save yourself the stress, forget Arsenal, support Fenerbahce. Well, Fenerbahce hasn't exactly filled man with much joy over the last few years, my guy. I get what you mean. This season looks a bit different, but Fenerbahce have been doing nonsenses of their own. Jeff Street says, how difficult is it for the club to ask for patience, for understanding, and also for the supporters to buy into what you are doing here, particularly whilst the team is sat there where it is in the table? Good question yet again. Coming up to 900 likes. We've got 2,000 people watching. We're going to get it to 1,000 likes in the next 2 minutes. I'm sure you guys can do that. 120 more likes, hits 1,000. We've hit the target. Edu said, it is hard. I'm not asking for patience because it is the word that everybody hates to listen to. When did you learn that, Edu? December last year, yeah? Must have been. I'm just trying to explain the strategy behind it, because when people see just one window, here we're going with the one window nonsense again, Edu, please leave it out. Of course, they see it like this. I respect that. You don't respect that. You wanted to say you understand that, but you realize you probably said you understand that 17 times in this transcript already. So you thought, let me say I respect that. That's another good word. But you have to see what we started to do since we've been together. We've tried to clean the squad. As I said, it is 21 exits. It's a lot, almost a revolution. What is this guy saying? Does he think he's Che Guevara or something? Man said 21 exits is a revolution. We struggled to get rid of these men. We got bent over for a couple of these men. It was far from a revolution, my guy. Far. But how are you going to fill those 21 holes? You need time. You cannot come in and do it straight away. But when you're creating your own holes, yeah, of course you're never going to fill the holes because you're always chasing filling holes, my guy. I don't want to be repetitive. You already are, but it is true. How are you going to create a solid foundation and then you say, okay, but they are young. They are young, but we have 5 senior players in the squad and in the first 11. Bernd Leno, Granit Xhaka, Thomas Partey, Alex Lacazette, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Well, Lacazette and Oba can't play in the same team together, my guy. Granit Xhaka wanted to go. He's not even worth more than 15 mil. And Bernd Leno hasn't signed a new deal and he's within his 2 years, and we've just signed the most expensive goalkeeper in our history in Ramsdale. So on this experience you talk about, what the hell? Have I missed anything in the chat, man? I ain't missed nothing, so we're going to go straight back into it. How long is this thing? Because if this... Okay, I'm nearly done, man. I'm nearly done. That's good. Where are we then? Yeah, I got that bit out of the way. All right, cool. He continues, around those five, we have a very, very good, talented players, which we believe in. I'm not reading this shit, I'll be honest. I'll give you another example. Why are a few clubs around the Premier League just signing one or two players? It's because they already have the foundation. They already have the team prepared. I'm sorry, but the reality is we don't. Now you have to create. That is the reality. I don't want to be here and try to lie. What's Arsenal's react? Charlie said, "Wake me up when he's gone with the rest of them, mate. You're going to be sleeping for a long ass time. I'm telling you that now. That needs strategy." Jeff Shreve says, "No one has 100% record on transfers. You get some right, but you get some wrong. On your watch, Willian, was that? Hey, man, like Shreves, you know. On your watch, Willian, was that just a mistake that didn't work out?" Hey, I could get the popcorn for this question. Let me see what Edu's saying. The decision on Willian was to sign someone with experience of a lot of Premier League games and someone who could impact the team straight away. So why do you tell us be patient in November? Apologize about that. Take ownership that you was wrong. You won't do that though, will you? If you saw the first game of last season away at Fulham, he started very well. Look at what our director of football is saying. Our director of football is saying the same thing some of these Twitter nerds were saying after that Fulham game where he got 2 assists. Look at him. Look at him. No, don't look at him. It's Fulham away. It's the first game of the season and he's on 200k. Don't look at him. He started very well and everyone thought, wow. You see what happens when people on Twitter and, you know, people want to blow smoke up some of these players' asses. The director of football sees it and thinks, yeah, everyone thought, wow. He thought, we thought, wow. I definitely didn't think, wow. But I saw a lot of people out there that did think, wow, we've got to stop with that nonsense. That's how a lot of these men get away with it. That's their receipt. Oh, how do you know the fans are happy with it? Well, did you see how happy they was after the Fulham game and the assists? Come on, man. Let's take some ownership of what we do as well. Man said, wow. But a lot of different circumstances during the season. For the squad and for Willian as well, it meant they were inconsistent. To be fair, every single player was inconsistent, and now we want to be more consistent. What about you? Have you been consistent, Edu? Talking about the players an awful lot. Have you been consistent? And you can say it was a mistake, you know. It's okay to say it's a mistake. In fact, I'd love to hear someone own up for mistakes at this club. I'd love it. At the end of the season, I came to Willian and myself and Mikel said, "How are you? Because I want you to be much more consistent. What is happening?" And then he mentioned to us that he wasn't 100% comfortable. And when we heard that, we made the decision that we did not want to play at the club who is not 100% comfortable or 10% with the team. He's not 100% comfortable. A man has had the season. You've given a man a new contract, yeah? Like, this is me, yeah? I'm in Edu's position. I give Willian a 200k contract. He does what he does for a year and it's nonsense. Do you think I'm going to go into the transfer window and say, yo, Willian, come into the office, mate. Yeah, sit down. How are you? How's it all going? I don't care how he is. He needs to know how I am right now. Because I stuck my neck on the line for him. I've signed him. He's on money. I don't care how you are. Willian, do you know how I am? I'm not happy, mate. What the hell is wrong with you? We're going over and asking him how he is. Like, what the hell? And giving him a chance to say he's not 100% comfortable. And you gave him the chance to say that. We should have been like, William, are you blessed? Like, your head's not here, mate. Like, is everything cool? And let him say, nah, it's not cool. And we're like, cool. Well, we got to sort this out then. How are you? How are you asking a man, how are you, after he done that season? How are you? LJ, I was hoping Arteta would get the sack before the end of the season so Saliba and Guendouzi would get another chance. Can't see that happening now. Well, Well, maybe. Obviously, with Guendouzi, there's an obligation to buy. So maybe, well, not maybe, definitely not with him. I think he has to hit some targets in the season. Maybe that's game time or something for that obligation to come through. But I think Guendouzi is done as an Arsenal player. Saliba, maybe if someone else comes in as a manager and wants to give him a chance, but at the same time, as much as Arteta has rubbed Saliba up the wrong way, I think the club has also rubbed him up the wrong way. So maybe a new manager doesn't even change his opinion on it. Um, Willian. If not now, it's my business to find the best solution. If it's a mistake or not, it's hard to say. It's not hard to say. Why do I continue reading this and why is it coming up with more nonsense? There's two. Man said it's hard to say whether it was a mistake. It's not hard to say. It's not hard to say. It's obvious to see, let alone hard to say. You wouldn't if our season had been better, but it wasn't better. And part of it not being better was because of you and Willian and all the nonsense we're doing. So it was a mistake. Why does no one at this club want to say, I own this mistake? But the most important thing is we tried. Man said we tried. We bought a free transfer in from Chelsea. And he said we tried. I'm skipping up from that now because there's back-to-back nonsense. It's really clear listening to you, says Shreves, what the plan is, the average age, etc. But do you accept that ultimately you will be judged? Everyone here will be judged on results now. Edu said it's football. We're talking about football, so we have to accept that. That's when people started to criticize us and we're talking about us, everybody. It's easy to talk about Arsenal today. Everyone went there and was talking against Arsenal. What are you talking about? But we have to accept that. We have to be strong enough to understand and again try to change it. Everyone talks about Arsenal because there's no one run like we'll run. None of the other big clubs take the piss like we have taken the piss. And no, don't say Tottenham because I don't even class that they're lucky to be in that category when they haven't even won a league title. Any club that's won a Premier League title in the Big Six doesn't move like this and has never moved like this. I wouldn't even say Liverpool have moved like this in the past, the way we are charged the highest ticket prices and we are given a team that's bottom in the Premier League after 3 games with no goals. It's crazy. We had to accept that. How are we going to change it? I want to see the players step forward and say now is a good moment to go and play. So to change the criticism of the club, you want to see the players step forward. But you've just talked about for the last half an hour that the players are young and the players need time. But here you're saying the players need to step forward. So there's also pressure on these young players to step up. Mad. Mikel has to improve and the coaching staff has to improve. What, Edu? Is that you? Who the hell are you, my guy? Man said Mikel has to improve. Okay, he did say I want to improve myself. He did say that too. I'll give him that. But Mikel has to improve and the coaching staff has to improve. My guy, make sure you improve. Make sure you improve. That's the moment to be together. And we're coming up to the end of this. We're coming up to the end real soon. A couple more questions from Shreves. Hour and 20 minutes in. Do you even want me to go through the last couple? Should I go through the last couple? Let's do it, man. Let's do it. There's still 1,800 people here. Why not? Come on. 1,000 likes, nearly on 50K subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you're subscribed, people. Anytime I do say it, my subscribers just shoot up by about 20. That just means people forget. So subscribe and put your notifications on to keep up to date with all of the videos coming out and all of that. It's Arteta's job and his responsibility for the coaching staff and the way the team plays. But would you say to the owners for your part, look, we are going down a different path. So here we need to back Mikel in terms of patience and support because most managers in this instance would say we need a quick fix now. If Mikel is going down this route, which is the club's new philosophy, do you think it's right the owners? So essentially, this whole interview was to project a new philosophy. That's what this interview was, to tell the world that Arsenal's now chasing the youth philosophy and we're going to need 3 years before we even set targets. It's vibes, inshallah. keep it moving. Fingers crossed for the next couple seasons, and we'll see top 4, top 6, top 8, top 10. Who cares? Let's just ride the wave. Free Max B. They already know 100%, said Edu, what we are doing because we report to them what the plan is and how we are going to operate the plan and how we are going to be this season. They already know and want to see the squad together. We want to see them playing together. Too much of this playing together stuff. Like the amount of time this guy's mentioned we need to see the squad playing together. You'd act as if we're missing bloody Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, and Puyol or something. He wants to see everyone fit, and I hope everyone without COVID. Then it is fair to judge us. Fair to judge us. So it's not fair to judge now. No, it's not fair to judge Jonas, who's been here 16 years now. It's not fair to judge you 2 years in after you tell us be patient with a man that's been in the league for 7 years and who we can't sell 12 months into a contract and we have to let go for nothing. It's mad. It's mad. Be patient. Be free. Be excited. Be hopeful. Be optimistic. Whatever they want to say next. Shreves. Lastly, where we are right now, it is difficult times for the club. But would you say you are very happy with the window you just had? Edu says, I'm really happy because the plan which we started to execute a year ago, we did. That's what makes me really happy because all the plans, all the steps, all the processes which we put together, we executed. I'm really pleased because it is not easy. So if the players get fit, our Shreves, and results pick up, then we'll start being able to see whether this works. Exactly. Not exactly. What kind of question is that? If the players get fit and results pick up, then we'll start being able to see whether this works. No. When the players are fit, we'll see whether it works or not. The end. The end, bruv. The end. That's it. Let me X that one out of here because we've seen enough of that. Let me go back there. Cool. People, hour 25 minutes in. It was a long one, but so was Edu's nonsense. It was a long one. Let me see if there's any last few questions to look through before I call it a day. Edu is mocking us. Edu is mocking us. The whole club is mocking us, and the whole media world is mocking us. Yeah, top 13 battle against Palace. Sounds about right. It sounds about right. Suresh, again, by pirate extreme, pirate and boycott games. Arteta will be in. These owners will never move out. The yes man. Imagine we could have got, like you said, Conte, even Mancini. That's very true. Like I said, it's not like we're lacking managers at the moment in terms of on the market. There's managers there. So, SVD TV says, can you message me as I'm always protesting on my channel when you do the protest at the ground because I can't make it there. Want to help with your Sell Arsenal campaign. Plus, can we do a stream sometime? Steve, because of the little one right now at the moment, as you can see, all my shows from last season haven't even made a return. League Honor, me and him, me and Mo, Bigger Picture, me and Rants, Real Recognized Real. I've had 3 shows that over the past 6 months have kind of had to be put on the back burner that I need to slowly reintroduce. On top of that, Kroenke, the battle is as rife as ever. Yes, this season's massive in terms of the battle against Kroenke. And yes, I appreciate and the Arsenal fan base appreciate you continuing about the protests on your channel and whatnot. But I can't promise right now when I'll have time to do streams and whatnot. At the moment, I do a lot of AFTV. At the moment, I'm trying to bring it back to my channel and try and, get this more consistent again. But sooner or later, we'll find a system and we'll get back in. Sub to you, Steve. Where's Steve in the chat as well? Come on, my guy. I see you, my guy. No worries, bro. Hope things are good. Yeah, man. Like I said, I got the little one now. So obviously that's a big part of my life. Someone said subscribe to Steve. What is Big Steve in the chat? Yeah. No, not that I can see. Last couple. When are you next live? Says Ridwan. When am I next live? Should I come live tomorrow? Should we do a Sunday session? Maybe we'll do a Sunday session. Maybe we'll do a Sunday. What do you guys think? Tomorrow, come back about 1 p.m. Or should we make it a late one? I know a lot of people like the 10 p.m.s. Let me know in the comments. 1 p.m. tomorrow or 10 p.m. tomorrow? Man, slap the banners, you know. What's this? I know this is an Arsenal live, but what happened to the Big Six channel? Yeah, the Big Six channel, it will become active eventually. We was meant to link up in the summer and get some live footage done and launch the channel, but COVID restrictions was extended. It didn't happen when we had it scheduled to happen, and then it didn't happen the month after. Season started. I had to get the show running again, so it's going to be on my channel for now. Like I said, once a month, we're going to bring it to Robbie's channel live, obviously us six in person in the studio, and we'll see where we take it from there. It'll be back on my channel on Wednesday, so look out for that this Wednesday. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nearly on 50k, can't believe it, but the line is near, about to cross it. So make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, notifications on. Love for the love people. I see a lot of 1 p.m.s, but people are saying the late ones come. 10 p.m.s, 1 p.m.s. I tell you what, if you're subscribed and you got your notifications on, you'll know when it's coming. I'll put it out tomorrow morning. Check the time. And yeah, we'll keep it moving. Love for the love people. I am out.